What's going on, y'all?
Excited.
Welcome back to Talks from the Shelf. It's your boys. Um, how's everybody doing tonight? Today we are talking about A24 movies. I guess I'll just say so. We had initially planned to do something else
Oh yeah.
for this episode, but we weren't able to get the necessary research done in time. So we pivoted to something that was a less research intensive thing, and it was just Tyler actually still went hard. You actually watched like 3 or 4 movies for this.
I went real hard the last few days. I watched movies yesterday.
Yeah, you did a lot of prep work, so I'm excited to see if any of the new movies that you watched make it into your top 5.
Restless.
We'll see. What's up? What's up, dude? We got my boy Cotton in the house.
What's up,
This is my boy.
Eli is Cotton.
Yeah, that's I'm not used to calling him Eli. I'm used to calling him Cotton because
I like Cotton.
That's his name in our Discord that we're in. Yeah, I'm interested to see what A24 films you do like. Old Restless, let me know. I'm definitely curious. We're gonna get into a good amount of them. But first, before we get into anything else, Tyler, just what's been going on, man? How's life? What's been going on?
Dude, I've been chilling. I've just been working a lot. Check this out. Got a new camera recently.
Oh yeah, show it off for the people.
That I'm very excited about. Camcorder type situation. You got the zoom rocker right here. It's very ergonomic. I do like some documentary work and stuff. My previous camera was just like not good to walk around and shoot with, the kind of stuff I like to do. But I'm very excited about this one. So I haven't used it yet, but I kind of just hold it every morning. I just do this.
Dude, I would do the same exact thing.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm a film so good with this. And I just kind of walk around the house with it.
Hollow Notes is in the house. That's badass, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
I love the shotgun mic on there. It looks like a gun.
Dude, it's ridiculously big.
It feels like how I would imagine holding a really big gun would feel.
Just, whoa.
You're just ready to use it. Cool. Yeah. Well, I would ask you what movies you've been watching, but I already kind of know what movies you've been watching. So you told me you beat Control, that video game Control.
Dude, I beat Control. It's a Remedy game. It's part of like the what's the other series that's
Alan Wake.
It's part of the Alan Wake universe, which the end very much kind of like a cliffhanger that made me much more interested in playing Alan Wake, because I'm like, wait, like what else is going on here? Very interesting. Great game though.
Yeah, I need to play Control as well, because I've heard that they're connected to the Alan Wake games, and I'm in the middle of Alan Wake 2. I keep taking like really long breaks from it. I'll play it for like an hour or two, and then I won't touch it for like 2 or 3 weeks. Got to get back to that.
Have you seen the multiplayer game that's coming out that's set in that universe?
No, what is it called?
I don't even know, but it's like a multiplayer like arena shooter, or more like a extraction shooter kind of thing.
Okay.
And it's set in that universe, mostly in like the Control universe. And now, having completed the game, it makes a lot of sense. It looks cool.
Oh, is it FBC Firebreak? I just Googled it.
That sounds right. It's like a first-person shooter. It looks very fun. I'll have to get an upgraded system, but we should play it. It looks cool.
We got Rare Books in the house. I don't believe I've seen you in the chat before, Rare Books. So if this is your first time, welcome. Everybody say what's up to Rare Books.
What's good, Rare Books?
What are your favorite and least favorite A20? That's a good question. If there's time at the end, we could definitely talk about our least favorites. Because I have my least favorites here as well. So we could definitely talk about those. Because the thing about A24, which we'll get into, is like people talk about A24 like A24 is a director, like he's a person and his name is A24. Like, it's not really the case. And there's certainly A24 films that I do not like. Their track record is more W's than it is L's, but
Yeah.
they do have misses for sure. Feels like the magic has been lost after the past few years. That I agree with. I feel like they've been getting a little bit too commercial lately. Like I look at like a movie like Death of a Unicorn.
I forgot about that one.
It feels like a movie that A24 would not have made 5 years ago. It feels just I don't know. They're trying to expand a little bit and like become
Just doing too much in general.
just becoming more commercial and like doing like this mass appeal kind of thing, which is like the antithesis of like what made them interesting to me and to begin with. So yeah, we're gonna go over our top fives, and then at the end we can do our least favorites.
Yeah, because me and Mark both have our own separate top fives.
Correct.
And I think they're going to be pretty different. So we can't really do like honorable mentions and stuff until the end because there might be some overlap there.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna have to do. So before we get into the top fives proper, I wanted to ask you, what was the first A24 movie that you remember seeing to the point where you were like, oh, like you became aware of A24 as an entity?
Dude, you're asking me?
Yeah,
The first one that I remember was actually Get Out.
that's not an A24 movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Get Out is not A24, bro.
All right, wait. It was something in that same era, though. Hold up. That's not it, then.
That's like Universal.
Really?
Yes, dude.
All right, wait. What year was that? Because it was in that apartment.
It was 2017.
Oh, my God.
Is that like on your list?
No.
Okay. I had hoped that you. Wait. Oh wait, it is.
Yeah,
dude. I was looking at.
Let's go.
I don't know. Google is fucking retarded. So I'm actually. It's like all this AI generated bullshit.
Oh yeah, it's like here's the answer, and you're like, you sure? And they're like, oh.
I don't think Get Out is not an A24 movie.
I feel like it is, man.
It's definitely not.
I kind of already celebrated for it being one, though. Eric, is Get Out an A24 film or not?
Bro, I have the internet right here. Hold on.
I feel like it is, dude.
Sorry for the dead air, folks. Bro, it's definitely not.
Well, that's a bummer.
It is absolutely not.
Okay, all right. Then after that, oh man.
All right, hang on. You think about that. Old Restless has seen Hereditary, Ex Machina, X, and Civil War. Those are all bangers. Old Restless is It's not. Tusk is A24, correct.
All right, well then. All right, well, if you're asking me the first time I remember that, if it wasn't that, then honestly, it was mid-90s. When did that come out?
Mid-90s is from 2018.
Okay. Yeah, because they have the cool, it's like skateboards that are all in the shape of A24, and then kids like skate past them and mess it up. And
yeah, I love
I remember being like, oh yeah.
They always do something cool with the production, like that logo. They always kind of customize it to whatever movie it is.
All right, wait, same era, same. I was getting movies from Redbox. I got Get Out and I got A Ghost Story at the same time. So it would have been that actually, where I was like, oh shit, these guys. That and A24 were that and mid-90s were about the same time.
I haven't seen Ghost Story, dude.
Dude, Ghost Story's really good.
I know. I've been.
It's actually not. It's actually not on my top 5, but it's a very good film. Highly suggest you would like it.
Yeah, I know. I've been putting that one off for some reason. You and me saw Tusk in the theater back when that came out.
Yeah, dude, we saw only two people in the theater type shit. It's
Yeah,
fun.
I haven't watched that since. I have no idea if I even like that movie, honestly. Like I might like it more now. I don't think I
Yeah.
was ready for Tusk when that came out.
No, truly horrifying is a good description.
I could see people there's a conversation
Mm.
around Ghost Story that I'm kind of vaguely aware of where it's like people went into it with the wrong expectations, right?
It is so not what you think it's going to be, but it's very much a movie for me. It's very slow. It's really slow, which I could see people not liking at all, but something about it just like really hit for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to see that for sure. Yeah,
It's
for
very good.
me it was probably I think I so I when The Witch came out, I saw
Mm,
that, and I think after the fact I became aware that that was A24,
okay.
and then so that
Which
one's
is
kind of
great.
cheating because that was probably the first. Well, no, we would have seen Tusk before that. I think Tusk came out before that.
Definitely.
Um, Tusk is 2014, Witch is 2015, so only a year.
Tusk was 2014.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Acres of Movies coming in with an unrelated question, but I will answer it because uh I have an example, and I'm thinking it's Steve Martin in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles when he's leaving the office and he's trying to hail a taxi in the beginning of the movie. I will ask that we try to keep it to A24 related questions though, just to kind of not derail the conversation.
Yeah, I don't
But
have an answer. I don't have an answer for that right now. I'm thinking about it though.
yeah. So, but then it might have been Hereditary after that because
Mm,
2018 is when I really started to like get more into movies and like actively like I've always liked movies, but like 2018 is when I started collecting. It's when I started trying to see as many like new releases as I can, stuff like that. And I think that's when I caught on to like, oh, this is like this is like a
you like
thing.
that's them again? Yeah.
Yeah, they keep popping up, and it's like, all right,
Yeah.
that's I like this. Like, let me see more of this, and like that heyday, like from like 2015 to 2019, I would say is probably like the peak of A24, if I had to say.
Dude, and it's worth noting that like they play a different role in different movies. Sometimes they're just a distributor, sometimes they're also more of a producer. So
Yeah,
like they play a lot of different roles. That wasn't always the case early on, but now it is. They kind of come in at different parts of the process now. So it gets a little dicey. Yeah.
yeah. Devil Wears Prada. I have not seen that.
Dude, that'd be
Ex
crazy.
Ex
Yeah.
Machina. Yeah, Ex Machina is good. Um, yeah, like a lot of movies will like premiere at festivals, and then A24 will like buy the rights for
So like we
distribution.
yeah, like we cop that.
So it's like
Yeah.
that's where it gets people are like, well, all A24 movies are the same, and it's like, well, no, like this, someone made this movie first, and it existed
Yeah.
before A24 became
Even
involved.
know
It's
about
just
it.
there's a certain sensibility that they gravitate towards, and that's what people kind of get confused.
Yep.
Um, all right, man. I think that's enough setup. Um, if you want, you can go first and give us your number 5.
Do you have a thing? Do you have a thing or no thing tonight?
Oh, I do have a thing. I
Roll
forgot.
roll the thing, dude.
I totally forgot, dude. All right, here's the intro tonight, guys. Thank you for reminding me, dude. I almost
Yeah, dude.
forgot about the intro.
Yeah. All right. My number 5.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just get caught up here with the
Yeah, go.
chat. We had a few more people pop in. What's up, brother? How you doing? I believe this is
You're
Jerry. What's good, Jerry?
Jerry.
I believe so. I'm sorry if it's not. I believe it is. I hope Enemy's on the list. I highly recommend it. Well, guess we'll have to see. David Kai, if I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. What's up? I don't know that I've seen you in the chat before, so if this is your first time, welcome. Everybody say what's up to David.
What's good, David?
I hope I get some idea of what film I need to see next from their catalog today. I would like to think that
Yeah,
you will. You know, Tyler and I recommend these movies pretty heavily that we're about to talk about. So
100%.
if they sound like they'll be up your alley, then yeah, I would definitely check them out. All right, man, go ahead and give us your number 5.
All right. I will say just to start too, like these we're just doing a top 5. It was hard to whittle down a top 5. That 5-6 spot hard, and then I got some follow-ups that are also great. But number 5, I'm going Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. Okay.
Dude.
That's a good one, dude.
So how should we do this? Is this in your top 5?
It is not. So yeah, that's a
Let's
good
go.
point. All right, so
cool.
if it's not, if it is in my top 5 and vice versa, I'll just tell you. I'll tell you right when you talk about it, and then that way we can bang out the conversation simultaneously. Sound good?
Cool. Perfect.
All right.
All right. The quick TLDR on Uncut Gems, and I guess too, like, we'll probably, if we bring up a movie, we'll probably spoil it to some extent. So if you haven't watched it,
yeah, let's try to avoid that unless it's absolutely necessary.
All right. Uncut Gems introduced me to the Safdie brothers.
Yeah, dude.
Who I love. The score and the sound design in this movie are like amazing. The sound design is like really chaotic. There's all these levels of vocals and noise, and that now like I live in New York now, and I didn't when I watched the movie, and I haven't even rewatched it since I've lived here. But like I feel like I get it more.
Yeah.
I've actually been in like a New York like jewelry store, and like the people like talking over each other, and it just like really hits. All that is great. I love the resurgence of Adam Sandler that we got from this. I grew up on Adam Sandler, like Big Daddy, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, all that stuff. And to see him in like a fairly serious role and really like just really give a great performance was very, very unexpected and just awesome. Dude, this movie, I can't say enough good things about this movie. It's very exciting. It's very chaotic. The pace is crazy. It's very tight.
Oh, the pacing is crazy, and it's extremely nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's very stressful the whole time, but like it's just so it doesn't feel it's not messy though. You know, it's like it's so tight. The writing is great. So good.
Yeah, his life is very messy, but the movie itself is very tight.
Yeah.
Real quick, Holland says Enemy is good, wouldn't make my top 5. What's up, guys? How you doing? What's up, Mika?
Upload feature.
Just saying what's up. I wanted to see this one. I haven't seen Waves. I wanted to see it. Waves. Yeah, one of those that slid under the radar, I think, but I've heard it's great. We got another person in here. I don't know that I've seen in the chat before. Odd Harsh.
No, wait, not. Yes, this is my boy from work.
Oh, dope. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, how you doing, man? Thanks for popping in,
dude. You can't.
Yeah, David says it's literally the worst time. That's so funny, dude. Yeah, man. So I'll give my quick anecdotal experience with Uncut Gems. Eric, if Eric's still in here, me and Eric saw Uncut Gems in theaters on Christmas Day. Yeah, dude. On fucking Christmas Day. That was the first time I'd ever been to the movie theater on Christmas Day, and it was mobbed, dude. Uncut Gems was packed. It was insanely full, and there was like families and shit too. Like I don't know if people thought it was like a different kind of Adam Sandler movie than it
Oh,
was.
it's not a family movie.
It's not for families at all. And dude, there's like that scene with Julia Fox and shit, bro. And like
Yeah, there
I
is.
was like, I was like, I was like, people can't be in here with their children right now. And then obviously the rest of the movie is highly inappropriate as well. Um, it was actually a lot of fun. I did it again this past year to see Nosferatu, and it was awesome.
Damn.
But yeah, dude, same feeling. Sandler had done more serious roles before this, most notably Punch Drunk Love from Paul Thomas Anderson. But then this, very much a lot of time removed between that movie and this movie. So like it felt like him like going back and kind of almost reinventing himself and just kind of being like, yo, I'm capable of this shit. Like
Yeah.
it I was so excited to see it. I'm a big Weekend guy. I love the Weekend. So like
Yeah, you are.
when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, yo, why is the Weekend in this movie? Like I loved that
As
about
the
it.
weekend, yeah.
As the Weekend, yeah, it
Yeah.
was cool as shit, dude. And then this, yeah, like you said, this introduced me to the Safdies. And then from there, I went and watched their other movie, Good Time, with Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson, which is also set in New York, is also extremely
It's a bad
anx-
time, bro.
anxiety-inducing and stressful. Yeah, ironically, Good Time is about the worst time you could have. The characters are having a bad time. The movie itself is good.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah, KG was in this is in Uncut Gems as well. People
Dude,
sleep on him in that movie. He's pretty good.
dude, can I also comment on that?
Yeah.
The Safdies rewrote this movie. This might be fake news, but I'm gonna say like 30 something times because they wanted the NBA player in the film to make sense for somebody who was actually an NBA player at the time. So I think originally they wrote it for Iverson, and then by the time they actually got it in production, it didn't make sense. So they kept rewriting the movie to make sense for the NBA player, and I think the singer, so like The Weeknd.
Yeah,
They
because
wanted it to
it's
come
a
out to make
period
sense.
piece. I think it's set in like 2011, so it's like right when The Weeknd was blowing up. He wasn't as super famous yet.
Yeah. So
So
it had to
yeah,
make sense for those people, so they kept rewriting it, and then KG ended up in it. Yeah, I think he was great. Yeah,
yeah, he was good, dude.
yeah.
This is also one I haven't rewatched since 2019.
Bro, me neither.
Long overdue for an Uncut Gems rewatch.
We should do a joint rewatch. Actually, that'd be sick.
I'm down for that, dude. Yeah, man, Uncut Gems is the shit. Really, really love this movie. Gosh, what else is there to say?
Dude, Seth didn't like the score for this movie, which blows my mind. So
It's not fresh enough in my mind to. I remember him saying that though. He like made a
yeah,
big deal about that, and I'm like, dude, that's like one of the best parts about it.
it's like all these like dreamy, almost like ambient synths
Yeah.
that very much like really hardly contrast the like energy and chaos of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like they more embody like the energy of like the gem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The score is like
Oh,
right from the
also,
beginning, it blew my mind. Yeah.
also, we got to shout out my boy Lakeith Stanfield, who's also in this movie as well.
Who is that? Is that the
He's
dude who's trying to like orchestrate the deal and stuff?
yeah, he's like
Yeah.
he's like Howard's boy.
Yeah.
That kind of he like comes in and out of the
Yep.
the jewelry shop a lot.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he in Get Out? Which apparently is not an A24.
Yes,
film?
yes, he is. He's
he-
he's the guy who gets his mind warped. Who's not Daniel Kaluuya.
Yep.
Yeah. Yo, and then the last thing I'll say is just that finale in the theater. Like you could hear a pin drop, and when when what happens in the end happens, it was just like that collective experience was so much more effective, and it's one of the reasons I love the movie theater, man, because just being able to share that with a group of strangers is like a feeling unlike any other.
Yeah, we won't spoil it. If you have not seen this movie and you're here right now, please go watch Uncut Gems. But I would
Yeah.
like to actually talk about the ending on here at one point because I feel like I've seen people talk about how it's like not a good ending before, and for a lot of reasons, I love that ending. I think it's perfect. So
Yeah,
have lots
no,
of thoughts about it. We won't talk about it though, but
it's
yeah,
great. It's a great ending.
great film.
All right, so
Hit us.
let's get into my number 5, and my number 5 is The Lighthouse.
Let's go.
Is The
Not on,
Lighthouse not on your
not on,
list?
not on my list.
Okay. All right. This movie also came out the same year as Uncut Gems, actually.
Wow, they were on a tear.
2019 is one of the best years for movies, period, that I can remember. It's an incredible year, and this is definitely high up on my list of movies from that year. Excuse me. But yeah, so I had been Holland Oates knowing ball as usual. um, yeah, I had been a fan of The Witch. I really liked that movie, and so by that point, um, I had seen Hereditary, I had seen The Witch, and I at this point knew that they were both A24 horror films, and
Mm,
so I was very much like of the mind like, oh, like A24 horror movies are like up my alley. I need to like be keeping my eye out for these. And then on that same note, I was aware of Robert Eggers, and I'm like, oh, the new film from Robert Eggers is coming out. Um, and it's that I remember when that first trailer hit, and it's like it feels like a movie made like 100 years ago. Like it's got that
mm-hmm.
aspect ratio. It's black and white. And it's all a lot. It's very practical feeling. There's not obviously not any like anything that would take you out of it, right? So it's a very immersive movie,
Yep.
and it just puts you in. It's you're like you, I feel like you're on the lighthouse with these guys, and I love movies with very isolated casts. Like, I guess you'd call them
Mm,
like a bottle movie, where it's like think of like Castaway with Tom Hanks or something like that, or The Martian with Matt Damon,
mm,
where he's stuck on Mars. Like just people in a situation, and they either have to escape or survive or whatever the case is. Yeah, The Witch is a banger.
which is
Um,
a banger.
so yeah, I love The Lighthouse. You're just descending into madness with these guys. I get this is one I saw with Eric. 2019, Eric and I were hitting the theater up like all the time.
So
Um, and I remember it was me and Eric in the theater, and there was like another couple, and it was that was it. And
another couple.
well, no, you know what I mean. Like it was it's a guy and a girl, and then him and I. And then after the movie, um, I I feel like it was either Eric asked them or they asked us. I don't remember who said it, but one of them, somebody was like, "Yo, did you understand what the fuck happened in that movie?" Because the ending really gets into like the not supernatural, but like unreliable narrator territory, and you're like not sure what.
Very subjective.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like not really sure what happened. Um,
Yep.
and like we kind of shared like this moment with that couple, and we're like, yeah, no, like we enjoyed it, but we didn't know like what was good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, dude, this one is so great. I rewatched it a handful of times since. I think it's my favorite Robert Eggers movie too. I really love this
Mm,
movie.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like Defoe and Pattinson are incredible. Both have great accents. They bounce off each other super well. They have just great chemistry. And yeah, there's like some really nightmarish visuals in this movie too, like very eerie stuff, great sound design. Um yeah. What do you think of the lighthouse, man?
Dude, I mean, so like love the Lighthouse, right? Willem Dafoe, one of the best actors alive, easily. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
He just like they just put him in absurd circumstances, and he's just like, all right, like this is what it. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, this is me, and like he just becomes that guy. Love that. He was great. I love that the blonde dude that's in it a little bit is a he was, so I forget where they filmed this, but they filmed it on like some like small island, and they took Robert, Willem Dafoe, man. They took Robert Pattinson to go get his hair cut, and this guy is cutting his hair, and they were like, damn, like this looks like the guy that we need. And they asked him if he wanted to be in a movie, and he was like, sure. And the blonde dude in Lighthouse was just a barber that was cutting Robert Pattinson's hair.
What blonde dude are you talking about?
He is in a couple scenes of like flashback scenes of Robert Pattinson when he's doing like logging.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't think of that off the top. I can't think of this guy's what he looks like.
He probably has like 15 seconds of screen time.
Gotcha.
But he's like the only like other like character that kind of pops up.
Yeah, as far as I knew, it was like them two and the mermaid, and like a couple extras like in the beginning.
Yeah. I love how weird it gets, and the ending. Again, we won't exactly spoil it, but like I love that shit when like all this stuff happens, and then like, but actually, this is what was going on, and then you got to be like, oh, like what? Like that's my favorite, dude. I remember seeing that ending, and like I love like seagulls are very like a thing for me that I like. It hit for me really well. I love that movie.
Yeah, I love how they start to just get super fucked up towards the end and just getting annihilated every night.
And it gets so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like this weird like kind of like not weird, but like there's this like homoerotic sort of tension between them in one scene where it's like you feel like they're gonna kiss, which is cool if they were, like that's okay, but like but like they're very much like, no, like I'm not gay, like like they're leaning in, and like right when they go to do it, they both kind of realize what's going on, and he's like, whoa, and they start like wrestling and like doing something masculine instead.
Dude,
it's so funny.
Dude, I love how you really feel for Willem Dafoe when he gets upset that he doesn't think Robert Pattinson likes his cooking.
Dude, he gets really upset, man.
Dude, it's such a small, stupid thing, but I was like, Willem, I was like, I'm sure you cook fine, bro. Like, yeah, I really felt for him, man.
Pattinson was just being kind of, he was mad at the situation, so he kind of took it out on him.
It's not you. Yeah, they're great. They're so I cannot wait for them to be in a film together again.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, and I love how it's sort of framed in a way that makes you think like maybe this one is crazy, but then as it progresses, you're like, wait, maybe he's actually the crazy one.
Yeah,
and you really don't know who is like on the up and up, if any of them are. It could be both of them, it could be none of them.
It's a bad situation.
But like the point is they just can't trust each other, and it's so much fun.
It's a great film.
All right, man. You're number 4.
All right, my number 4. I don't think you've seen this, but Swiss Army Man.
I have not seen this. It's not on my list, naturally. This is the guys. These are the Daniels, the guys who did Everything Everywhere All at Once, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Indeed, it is. I've seen both those movies. I think Swiss Army Man is a lot better. I'm not gonna lie.
Potentially a hot take.
I think it's a lot better. It's Paul Dano, who I saw again like a week ago.
You saw him
on the subway, dude. He was standing like. So Paul Dano takes the subway. He lives a couple neighborhoods over. Yeah. So I've seen him a few times,
dude. If it happens like 2 or 3 more times, man, like you got to just be like, hey, man,
What am I gonna like? Like, just, yo, you're Paul Dano, right?
Just be like, I'm with you, man. Like, I don't want to make someone uncomfortable. That's the last thing I want to do, especially if it's someone I'm a fan of. But just be like, hey, man, I like your work. Something real quick like that. You don't even have to linger. You could even just walk away right after you say that.
Well, I usually this is the first time I've seen him without his kid.
And that's the other thing. Yeah.
And I wouldn't talk to him then. And this time he had AirPods in. And I wasn't gonna be like, hey.
Yeah, that's kind of like a don't talk to me. All right. Yeah. I'm just saying, if you ever get the chance to just be like, hey, bro, big fan. Yeah, just keep it pushing. Obviously don't be like,
ciao.
Can I get an autograph? Can I take a picture with you? Like
yeah.
Guys, like, it's Paul Dano, everyone. Just
Yeah,
fucking blowing his spot up.
yeah, no, I will. But so Swiss Army Man, Paul Dano, Daniel Radcliffe, and they're effectively the entire cast for like 95% of the movie.
Dude, not too dissimilar from Lighthouse.
Right? Yeah,
I need to see
similar.
this, dude.
Dude, this movie is so good. It's so funny. The music is fantastic. They both sing in it. Daniel Radcliffe is one of the most ridiculous characters you'll ever see in any film. And Paul Dano buys into it 150%. And you're just like, all right, this is what's going on. And it starts off as something that you're like, oh, okay, this is gonna be like really goofy, really silly, really dumb. And then it lures you into like a very, very human, very, I don't want to say deep, but like, no, it's like a very human, very deep story about just like what it is to be like a person in modern day society. Essentially Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe, who's like a corpse, just surviving in the woods together, and Paul Dano telling Daniel Radcliffe about like what it means to be alive. And dude, this movie is so good.
Dude,
I can't say enough good
yeah,
things about it.
I have to see this. It's been like there's so many movies like on my radar that I just never have seen, and it's not for lack of interest. It's just for one reason or another, I just haven't seen it. But yeah, I need to see this.
There's some movies that like it takes you a little bit where you're like, what's going on? And you kind of ease into it and you're like, okay, this is good. And this is one from like the first 30 seconds. I was like, this seems like it's gonna be really good. And then it just all gas, no brakes the whole time. There's nothing like this. I can even say, oh, it's like this movie because it's not. It's its own thing. Great movie. And this is something that like I feel like a lot of my list is stuff that you wouldn't. A lot of other studios or distribution whatevers wouldn't really pick up, but I love that they picked this one up. It's a great film.
Yeah, it's like 90 minutes too, right? If I'm not mistaken. Like
I feel like it's pretty yeah, it doesn't overstay its welcome.
I remember when I had there was a time when I was like about to watch this. Like I was very close to watching it, and I'm very drawn to like 90-minute bangers that I can just kind of knock out. And I think that was one of the big criteria that I was looking at.
Dude, this movie. I'm very excited to watch this again. I haven't watched it since, but I remember it very vividly. Highly recommend.
Daniel Radcliffe has had such an interesting career, like post Harry Potter. I think he's really done a really great job of like kind of shedding that persona. Similar to Robert Pattinson with Twilight, dude. Like this thing that you think could define you, and it's all. I feel like it's obviously I have no way of knowing this, but like I feel like it's all about not trying too hard to like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing that's so the opposite. Like he just kind of it very much feels like the two of them, Pattinson and Radcliffe, have just kind of done projects that they think are cool, and like that's kind of it.
That was like Pattinson in Good Time that we referenced earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Like him and that, Lighthouse, obviously, the Batman. He's really gone and done a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
All right. My number 4 is a movie called Moonlight. Have you seen this?
I have seen this. This is not on my list. It was really close, but it's not on there. So I'm glad you have it on your
list. Good shit. I didn't know that you had seen this. But yeah, dude, this movie is like I really like this movie. It's basically it's one character, and it's each act of the movie is him when he's very young. It's him when he's sort of an adolescent, and the third act is him as an adult. And it's these 3 really pivotal points in his life that like really serve to define who he is and like who he becomes as the story goes on. And it's this it's this black gentleman, and he lives in I forget exactly where it's set, but he lives in a not great area, and so it's one of those situations where, yeah, I really love it. I want to watch it again. It's one of those situations where a young man like him is, you know, it's very easy for him to kind of get lulled into that sort of gangster sort of
It's
lifestyle.
somewhere outside of LA. Yeah, it's in California, somewhere LA.
Yeah, and he happens to be a gay man, and he's grappling with that as a because he knows as even as an adolescent. I think he knows that on some level, and then he really learns it about himself um, as he ages. And Mahershala Ali is in the movie, and he sort of takes him under his wing
So good.
and shows him, just really just instills in him this sense of confidence that he wouldn't have been able to get elsewhere. And it's just such a fucking beautiful movie. I really love it. I want to watch it again, like as I'm sitting here talking about it. And it's just a very human story, and it shines a light on, like, and that's what's so beautiful about movies, man, is it's like it'll take you to places that outside of your own life, and you get to experience what this person goes through, and it's just so different than anything I'll ever experience, and it's so fascinating for it. And I don't know, man. What do you think about Moonlight? I think it's just such a great movie.
Dude, I love Moonlight. Uh it has so much it shows so much restraint.
Yeah.
So much of it is kind of slow, and there's the scene of him, he comes home as a kid and he gives himself a bath, and they don't make it a point to be like, yo, his mom's not home to do this, but that scene tells you that. And there's a lot of that in it. And then, dude, the scene where he's a teenager and he's in high school and he finally snaps, and he just it's a long scene, and they follow him into his classroom, and he picks up a chair and it's what, and snaps it over some kid's head who was making fun of him. And that scene I still remember as one of the, it's not super violent or super brutal or bloody or anything, but
Yeah.
it's one of the most visceral scenes I've ever seen in a movie, and I remember it like that. And it's a really good movie.
Because all the stuff that pre leads
They're
up to that
just
scene.
poking, he's just getting poked the whole time, and you're just waiting to
Yeah. Yeah,
stump
and
him.
oh god, it's so good, man. Like all three of the actors who play um god, what is his name? I think his name Chiron.
I think I saw that before you, so I haven't seen that for a minute.
Yeah, when did I see it? I saw it in 2023.
Wow.
So it's been a minute since I've seen it. Letterboxd is so dope, man. I can look up, I know whenever I see shit. I can tell you exactly when I watched it. I love it. All right. Yeah, dude, it's just a beautiful movie, a very human movie. And that's what's so cool about A24, dude, is it's whether it's a comedy, whether it's a horror movie, or whether it's a drama, it's firing, not always, but there's this underlying feeling or expectation that it's made by, because the thing that they really highlight is auteurs and people who have something to say. And there's nothing, I wouldn't use the word commercial to describe most A24 movies. They're very much they're not movies that you can just recommend to anybody. Those are the movies that I tend to gravitate towards, because they're seeking to challenge you on some level, and Moonlight does that, but it's such a rewarding experience, and the ending is really great, and it's really it restores your kind of your faith in humanity, and it's just a great movie. So yeah, that's my number 4.
And also, last thing on Moonlight, there's a couple scenes that are really they kind of shoot handheld for some of this movie that I love. and there's a scene when they're in the car, and then a scene where they're in the ocean.
Yeah, dude.
That it feels documentary like, where it feels like someone who just in there with the camera being like, "What? Like, what's up?" And it adds and not in like a gimmicky way, but in like a very real way, and just kind of puts you there, and
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, this it could be. Yeah, that seems like that feels like it's on par for this movie because it's very much like a snapshot of like this person's life and the place they're from. So it's like like documentary style feels like an apt description.
That's a good bridge into our next movie too.
Ooh, all right. Well,
Yeah.
take it away, man. We
All
got
right,
Tyler's number 3.
my number 3, which I also don't think you've seen, which you need to, is the Florida Project.
Fuck, I knew this was gonna come up, dude.
Dude,
Yeah, I'm slacking on the Sean Baker films, bro.
dude. So this movie, I saw it, I don't know, a couple years ago. Introduced me to Sean Baker, who recently blew up because he's the writer, director, and editor of Anora.
Mhm.
Which is crazy too, to be like making a movie of that like level and scale and being a writer, director, and editor. Love that. Just to have that kind of vision from like day one and go all the way through like to finish the edit. I mean, you know what that's like, right? To like be like, I have this idea, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna put it together, I'll film it, I'll edit it. It's just crazy.
Holland Oates continuously knowing ball. It's
let's
crazy.
let's go, huh?
Real quick, my buddy Chris is in here, bearded film guy. Um,
What's good, Chris?
he's the man. He has a podcast called the Beyond the Blood. It's a horror commentary podcast where they talk about specific horror movies and they listen to the commentary track, and it's a real deep dive. I'm actually going to be on it in June we're going to talk about The Burning, which is one of my favorite camp slashers of all time. You can find that on Spotify. It's the Beyond the Blood podcast, so go check him out. Chris is the man too. Sorry, I just wanted to.
No.
I wanted to plug the homie. Willem Dafoe popping up again here, as Holland Oates points out. And Mika's saying Florida Project would definitely make my list. Beautifully done.
Let's go.
Yeah, I need to see this movie, dude.
Dude, Florida Project is like, the cast is like roughly say 10 people. 9 of them are non-actors. 3 or 4 of them are straight up children. And then the other one is Willem Dafoe.
That's awesome, dude.
And it's shot like on location, more or less, in some little town outside of Orlando. And it really just like kind of follows this young girl who lives with her mom. I was gonna say her older sister, but that's what it feels like. It's like really young mom, kid. They live in a hotel or motel. And it's very like it feels sort of like commentary on like modern day America, but without falling into that trap of like what a movie like Don't Look Up or something does, where it's like, whoa, like it gets real caricature-y about like, look at all this stuff that's wrong, right? It's like it's very subtle. It kind of zooms in real hard on like the actual downstream effects of what's going on, instead of just being like, look at all this bad stuff, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it'd be very easy to kind of become like I think they like, I don't know what the term is, like, you know, when people make a movie that's like designed to make you like, they're just trying to make you cry or something, or like like drama porn or something like that, where it's like,
and it's not that at all, and it definitely could be given the subject matter, but like I don't want to give anything away, but just like the way it's shot, the way there's a recurring scene that kind of happens a handful of times, and a very small part of it changes each time, and it's kind of just like, hey, are you paying attention? Do you understand what's happening here? And it really like shows you and tells you a lot without holding your hand. And a big like this is the first Sean Baker movie that I saw, but I knew that most of the cast were non-actors, but it doesn't feel like that at all. And that's when I kind of saw like, okay, Sean Baker, like whenever I watch a movie and I know that the actors are not actors, but it's still really good and all the performances are good, I have to attribute that to the director, right? Because I'm like, who else is there kind of guiding and telling them what's going on? Because only so many people actually interact with Willem Dafoe throughout the movie. So the fact that everybody's so good and the movie's so good and they're not really actors just tells me that like Sean Baker like knows his shit and knows what he's doing. And that like really turned me on to him. And I still think this is his best film. I've seen this, Red Rocket and Anora. I think this is the best. But this is a really good movie, man. And it's not quite as sad as you think. Like you told me before, like, oh, I heard it's sad, but like, and it is, but like, it's not like upsettingly sad. It's really
Yeah, and I can watch a sad movie. You know, I like sad movies quite a bit, but like I don't know, you just got to be in the right headspace.
it's not a feel good film for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds a little bit like Uncut Gems too. Like I think the Safdies are another couple guys who are really great at like casting non-actors.
Yeah.
And there's something, and I understand why directors do that. It's because it's like if you can do it right, you know, because I'm sure like when these guys when they're going about their daily lives and they're taking inspiration from, you know, the world around them, right? And they're observing people and they're like, you would be a great person if I could just capture this moment and like put it on film, you know. But like obviously there's a lot of like other shit you have to do, right? So yeah, like you're spot on where it's like these guys are so good at knowing like how to direct them to where it's like, you know, just knowing how to tell them just be yourself and making the environment around them feel as little like a movie set as you can, I'm sure is a big part of it, where you can just really organically capture these very human moments, you know, and that's really cool. I definitely want to see this movie at some point, man.
Yeah, and even from the writing, like this was so Sean Baker is actually from Jersey, like Central Jersey somewhere, but a lot of the story comes from a friend of his who grew up in this area and would tell him about like what it was like growing up there, and he was just like, that sounds crazy, and eventually like it led to this. So yeah, highly recommend Florida Project. Anything from Sean Baker, Florida Project, Red Rocket, great movies.
I remember seeing this clip of the behind the scenes of this movie, and there's this scene with like a rainbow or maybe even a double rainbow. And it was like in the script, and then there was an actual rainbow, and it saved them like $20,000 because they were going to have to add the rainbow in post, but they didn't. And it just happened to be such that there was the exact rainbow in the sky that he needed on the day that they were shooting it, which I was like, oh, that's fucking cool as shit.
There's this is a tangent, but there's that quote from I forget who, but something along the lines of like, the harder I work, the more luck I tend to have. And that seems like a perfect embodiment of that.
That sounds like an Efren Reyes quote. He's a pool player.
I think this is like a Teddy Roosevelt quote or something, but whatever.
Yeah, same idea.
Guy. Same guy. But yeah, Florida Project.
Another one I gotta see, dude.
Yeah.
So what was your number 5 again? I'm sorry, remind me.
Uncut Gems, Swiss Army Man, Florida Project.
So 2 of your movies I have not seen, which is crazy.
Tragic.
Tragic. All right. My number 3. My number 3 is X.
Dude, I haven't seen this.
Dude.
I haven't seen any of these. I'm fucking up hard, I know.
X is fucking sick, dude. X is badass, bro. I love X. I should have put some clips of X in the intro. There's so many movies to pull from with A24.
Dude, the thumbnail was a mess to make, man.
Yeah. I appreciated all the work you put into the thumbnail, by the way. I even noticed I saw the TV glow.
Yeah, the moon.
Yeah, in the background. I was like, wait, let me enhance this real quick and like make sure that's it. But dude, yeah, X.
There's a little Easter egg in there too from something else that's hard to see.
Did I not catch it? Have I not commented on it?
Nah, there's something else. It's like really tucked in there pretty good.
All right, I'll look at it later.
Yeah.
But dude, X, this is a Ty West film. Spawned a whole trilogy. It stars Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega, Brittany Snow. Kid Cudi is in this. You really need to see this for Kid Cudi, bro.
Yeah, for real.
He plays he plays an adult, a male corn star. And he's hilarious in it. It's so funny, but it's also like a good horror film. Like it's it's making. I did a video on it too, where I talk about X and the prequel Pearl that people can check out. But it's very much about like like the it's adults, like people like who are aging and being aware of their mortality, and you know how old people are jealous of young people, and you know young people are making the most of their youth, and this sort of like, so there's that juxtaposition there where to each other they're like sort of the enemy, right? Because old people are always kind of judging the next generation. And it's also making a commentary on like the at the time when the movie was set, like it was right before the advent of like home video, and so as a result of that they were like making home corn movies, and and like the guy who they have directing their corno is like an actual filmmaker. Like he wants to be a filmmaker, so he's like trying to make the corno like as he's trying to make it as like prestigious as he can. And there's even a great line in the movie where he says it's possible to make a good dirty movie, and it's like, oh, I'm watching that right now, like because there's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of nudity in this movie, but it's sort of meta, and you know, I need to rewatch my own video because I'm like, there's another big component that I'm kind of missing, but I'm sort of having word salad and can't quite think about it. But it's really good. It's got a lot of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes to it, which is what drew me in initially, and it's just a good old fashioned horror movie, man. Like it came out in 2022, yeah, and it stayed with me. I still love it. It's very rewatchable. It's just a fun time. Some A24 horror movies, not very rewatchable to me. Really good, but I don't want to rewatch them.
We'll get there. Yeah,
yeah,
I think we'll get there.
I'm sure we will. And that actually plays into my rating system too. Like my top 5 are movies that I enjoy, but I also will find myself wanting to revisit. Some of these don't fit that bill, so just throwing that out there. But yeah, dude, X is great. They filmed a prequel at the same time and didn't tell anybody. And then at the end of X, after the credits, they showed a trailer for the prequel, Pearl, which came out later the same year, if I'm not mistaken.
That's how they did that?
Yeah, it came out the same year.
Wow. That's crazy.
And it was like, hey, we also have this other movie coming out. Because like Ty West came to A24 and he was like, hey, I could make a whole other movie with this same crew, this same setting, which is where they film it. It's all in the same setting.
Damn.
It's the same farmhouse. And he's like, yo, like we could just get real economical about this. Like the fact that we're already here and we could just make a whole other movie and it wouldn't cost you like hardly anything. And they were like,
crazy.
And they were like, fuck it, let's do it. And it was awesome. It was great. Pearl, also very good. Maxine, the third one, not as good. But yeah, X far and away the best of the trilogy, and just a really great horror movie in my opinion.
Damn, you brought that over. You said we hung out at my mom's house one night, and you brought that there, and we didn't watch it, and we should have watched it. I gotta watch it still.
Yeah, I think I just kind of had like an arsenal on me, and I was just kind of ready with some multiple options. Kind of like when I brought like John Wick over when I visited you last, which we actually did wind up watching, which was huge.
Which was sick. Yeah.
All right, dude. So, you have any thought? I know you haven't seen it, but do you have you want to say anything about X real quick?
Dude, all I've seen Mia Goth in is what's the movie that she's not the star in, but she's the co-star, and it's one girl's name, and it's like Victorian. It's British,
Oh, what is it? Fucking
blonde girl. What's her name?
Emma.
Emma.
I have not
Yeah,
seen that movie.
and she's the best character in Emma by far, better than Emma.
Wow, nice.
So yeah, yeah.
All right,
That's
man.
all I got. Yeah.
Runner up,
All right, man. Runner up. Maybe a hot take. I saw the TV glow,
dude. Fuck yeah.
dude.
This is just outside the top 10 for me. It's
Yeah,
it's competitive as fuck, dude.
it
Like,
really is.
and
Yeah.
I could rewatch any of like my top 16
Yep.
and it could move up substantially
Yes.
on any given day. Like, it's so hard to arrange your thoughts on the, like, I'm looking at the list in front of me right now on Letterbox.
This
It,
list 6 months from now is different.
yeah, it's extremely
Yeah.
subjective. It's dependent on the mood and which one I've seen most recently. But yeah, dude, I saw the TV Glow is an absolute banger. Such a good movie. Yeah, take it away.
Dude, this movie is I was actually talking to somebody on Twitter about this yesterday, the day before. Somebody was talking about how like Donnie Darko is a really good movie, but how like it just like I'm paraphrasing, but like it's too loose where how you hit the ending and you don't really know exactly what happened, right? You can't be like this happened and this is what it means and whatever. And like I love that about Donnie Darko, but I can't disagree with that. And I saw that TV Glow is in that same realm of Donnie Darko, where it's like really subjective. Lots of stuff happens that you can kind of like make up your own mind about, but it has
Yeah.
a little bit more there of like, this is what's going on, and like, this is the reality of the film. And it strikes such a crazy balance of being like, uh, just crazy and like very super subjective and super like you have to read into it to understand what's happening, but also like for me, I think I have like a pretty good understanding of like what the film is trying to tell me. One is like the actual story, the reality of the film, and two, what the themes are. And I feel like that's so hard to strike, to like hit both of those. And it's so weird and it's just so good. And I just love that they pulled this off and that they like went as far as they did with this and like made it as weird as it is, and it's still just like doesn't feel like a mess, you know, but it easily
No,
could have.
not at all. Yeah, dude, like there's very much like it's the filmmaker who is a trans person um
Hmm.
injecting their sort of lived experience into it. But you don't need to share that lived experience to take away because there's multiple truths about this movie and they kind of blend into one another and you can assign different meanings to them and none of them would be inaccurate and it's what it really is about at the end of the day is um feeling like you're supposed to be doing or be somebody else and either being too afraid to take the necessary steps to do those things and become that person and how horrifying it can be when
When you don't
decades
do that.
slip by and you realize you've spent your entire life being somebody that you're not supposed to be. And so that's a universal experience, like, but it's also a very neat little allegory for what I'm sure the trans experience is like. And so I've loved that aspect of it. I found it to be so clever and so universal. And there's so much craftsmanship. Like
Yes.
the movie's very Buffy coded. Um,
Yeah.
like those 90s sort of TV like not sitcoms, but like shows like Buffy or The X Files or something like that, where it's means it's like on the surface like very kind of silly, or nothing to be taken too seriously and sort of episodic in nature, but a show like Buffy eventually grows and grows, and it becomes more about like it's about the characters start off very innocent and like adolescent, and then as the show progresses, they become adults and like grappling with, you know,
Real
change it, like
shit.
what that transition is like. And then
Mm.
as an audience member, what you take away from that is where you've spent all this time with these characters and they feel like family to you. And that's a huge plot point
Mm.
in the show, in this movie. And they managed to recreate the feel of that show, of these shows, really well in the movie. Like they
Which you
which
would
is
appreciate more than me.
yeah, and it's hard to do because it's like you're making it look bad intentionally, or like dated is probably the right word.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's that part at the end where they talk about how like when you rewatch the shows, they don't really feel quite the same as when you first did. So like
Mm.
there's when you watch the show through his young perspective, and then when he's watching it again and as an adult, it like looks different, like literally looks different.
Yeah.
Which was a clever way of being like it just doesn't hit the same when you're older. So I found that to be really clever. And the movie's just doing so much. It's doing so
It
much,
really is.
and
Yep.
it's very haunting. And I really enjoyed. I saw the TV glow.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't even I saw opening night. I didn't know anything about the writer, director, any of like the underlying like context, and still just like got so much out of it. And
Yeah, that must have been awesome.
great film, dude.
All right, man. Well, I
Hit it.
guess I'll go into my number two. And this was hard to do, by the way. Number one and number two are probably not what you're expecting either.
Mm.
Number two is Past Lives for me.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I saw this trailer for like I think it was ahead of some like Beau is Afraid or something.
That makes sense.
Just another A24 movie, and I saw it, for that, and I was like, oh, like I took an immediate interest. And one of my favorite like subgenres of like I don't love like rom-coms. What I really love and gravitate towards are like romantic films where shit is fucked up at the end. Like it does not work out at all. Because
Yeah, yeah,
it's so realistic and I
yeah.
gravitate so heavily to that. And so I think of like movies like Brokeback Mountain,
Mm,
Portrait of a Lady on Fire, the first Before Sunrise, that movie,
yeah.
without the added context of the later ones. You've seen that, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So if you're just looking at that movie, like
Yeah.
little bit more realistic in terms of how that would probably go. So I love shit like that. And I'm in this like film Discord where a lot of we all I'm with friends with a lot of people in there who talk about movies, and a lot of people were seeing this before I got the chance to, and as more and more people were seeing it, they were like, "Yo, Past Lives, Past Lives," so to the point where it was like the hype for me had reached a fever pitch, and finally it came to our Regal here in Jersey, and I was so fucking excited, and I went and saw this movie. I think it was a day off I had from work, or I might have went after work. I think I went after work, and it was like me and like three or four other people in the theater. And dude, this movie leveled me like a freight train. Um, we got our boy David here. Yes, I adore Past Lives. The way that the main conflict comes from the pain trauma of migration as opposed to characters, like most rom coms, is
Oh
captured
wow.
brilliantly. That's a really interesting insight. So
Mm,
yeah, basically, and it's very specific to their culture, right? Like that's not something that typically we deal with too much in America, right? Like this is something that they migrated to America like for a better life, and so it's this guy and this girl, and where do they live? Where do they live again? I can't remember.
like originally.
Yeah, is it South Korea? I think it's South Korea. Hollow Notes saying past lives, crying emojis. But yeah, basically they live, you know, I think they're South Korean, and the girl moves with her family to America, and you know she was poised to kind of have this relationship with this guy, and then she gets, you know, outside of circumstances outside of her control, she has to move, and they lose touch for years and years, and eventually they reconnect, and it's very like short lived though because they can't necessarily make it work because of their um the distance, right? And they're both kind of trying to establish themselves with their careers and their education. So it's not feasible. And then eventually more time passes and eventually she gets married and they reconnect again, and it's so he basically comes and visits her, and in a lesser movie it would be a movie where he comes and visits her and like she realizes she hates her relationship with her husband and she was meant to be with this guy, and she leaves her husband and she goes and marries him because that was her one true love, and it's not that. And that's what I fucking love about it. And they even make a comment about it in the movie where the husband
Yeah,
is
very
like,
meta.
he's like, if this were like a bad movie, like I would be the awful husband telling you not to go see him. And what makes it fucking crush you is the fact that the husband is so cool about the whole thing. And he's like, dude, I totally get it. And he's just like, do what you have to do. Like he's like, cause she's like, they need to just find closure and kind of put this chapter of their lives to bed and kind of accept, you know, what it is. And the movie ends with just a punch to the gut, dude. It's and I was just crying my eyes out in the theater. Like not crying my eyes out. I was fucking crying though. And dude, if a movie can make me cry, that is the mark of a fucking quality film. At
Damn.
least in my eyes. Like
Yeah.
cuz you really like I won't just cry at anything. Like there has to be a real, you know, human element, and this movie has that. And I wish I could get that feeling every time I watch it because I've rewatched it and I don't cry at the end anymore, which I wish I could. I don't know
Mm,
why, but I just don't anymore because I know it's coming.
damn.
And that's what I like about movies, man, because I left that movie feeling differently than I did when I came in.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to admit it, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm confident in my sexuality. I don't even know why I'm saying that. Men, what am I talking about? Straight
You can
men,
cry.
yeah, straight men can cry.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're saying that they can't, by the way, old restless. But
Yeah.
you know, yeah, dude, crying is good. It's a very anyway, I've talked a lot. Um give me your
I know,
experience.
I know you love this movie.
No,
Um,
that's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying.
n-
That's not what I'm saying at all. You know what
um,
I'm saying.
yeah, yeah. No, I enjoy this film. This film is I'm excited to watch this in like a couple years. Uh, this film was too close to home for me when I watched it. I was on the verge of going through a breakup when like neither of us wanted to accept that we were going through a breakup, and I live in like effectively the same neighborhood that they live in the movie, and I had just moved here, and we were just like watching it, and I was just like, yeah,
This
just
ain't it
kind
right now.
of just kind of the whole time, and so I didn't have a very enjoyable experience watching. I need to watch it again. um I see the carousel every day going to work. Like I'm right here, it's too close to home.
Yeah.
So appreciated it though for like what it was. Beautifully made and written and shot. But I'll watch it again in a couple years. Yeah, Otter Snows. Yeah.
Oh,
uh
dude.
yeah, and I think eventually I might even become be able to appreciate it that much more, right? Because it's so real to me.
Yeah.
But it's the when I watched it, I was like, I don't need this. It was like watching I tried reading The Stand during COVID, which is like a Stephen King book about like a virus that spreads across the world and kills everybody. And I was like, I don't really need this right now. Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't need that in my life, but it's a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's I love how authentic it is, and it's
It is
just
a movie.
it's an
Yeah.
incredible it's incredible. I really loved it.
Yeah.
Nothing flashy about it at all. It's just a human story about two people. So
Dude, them on the subway and they're like holding like the bar and like their hand. Oh, so good.
yeah, and then there's like a scene at the end where like he's talking to the husband, and there's something even more endearing about it because he doesn't really speak English. So like he's got
Yeah.
kind of like this broken English, and he's like is talking to the husband, and he's like thanking him and stuff, and it's just like, oh, dude, like,
Yeah. Yeah, like just go, bro.
well, not even like that. Like it's just like they both are just like they both realize like how kind of weird the situation is, but like neither of them is like mad at the other one. Where it's like it would in a way it would be easier if they were, because it would
Yeah.
just kind of give you like that out, that bar scene where the husband is just sitting there whole
Yeah,
yeah.
he's just like
Holland
he's
understands. He's like, yeah, she's like, hey, I'm gonna talk to him in Korean for a little bit. Um, and it's
yeah,
like,
he's like,
dude,
yo.
and it's like he knows that it would be very easy for him to make this like a big fucking deal and like make it about him and really like give his wife a bunch of shit about it. But he's so fucking emotionally mature that he realizes like, yo, this is like some real fucking shit that she's going through and he's going through. So like I'm just gonna kind of make myself small and like not make this about me and just let them figure this out and go through what they need to go through. And it makes you fucking love him so much. The actor's name is John Magaro. He's fucking incredible. And it's so fucked, man. It's so fucked up, but in the best way. It's great.
It's a good movie. Dude, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Great way to put it, man.
Yeah. And that's what? That's the wife of the guy that wrote Challengers or vice versa. What's the deal there?
Yeah, yeah. I think her name is Greta. Oh no, Celine Song is the director's name, and she's married to the guy who did challenge who wrote Challengers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dude, they're killing it.
yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Anyway, man, I fucking love Past Lives. Incredible, incredible movie. But it is time for Tyler's number one.
All right, my number one, A24, has to be Hereditary.
Ah, dude.
This isn't your number one? It's not even on top five?
It's number 6, dude.
Yeah, Past Lives and Challengers effectively.
Kind of, yeah.
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 Closely correlated. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, as I alluded to earlier, I've seen Hereditary once and like
Same.
incredible film. I don't rewatch that.
Dude, can I?
I did not enjoy the experience of watching it,
No.
which is intentional, but
Can I give a very quick story, anecdotal time to kind of explain why this hit me the way that it did?
absolutely.
So when I was like 11 or so, 11, 12 or so, my mom was married to this guy. We'll call him Joey. I was sitting, we're in the living room one day, I'm watching TV. There's a commercial comes on for depression medication. And they're talking about the symptoms of depression. This is the first time I've ever seen like the idea of depression. And again, I'm like 11 or 12. And I said something to the effect of like, wow, you're just sad all the time. Get over it. Right?
Jesus Christ.
And Joey is on the couch behind me and he's like, yo, like, nah, that shit's is that unconvincing, old wrestler? That's his name, all right.
Sounds like a child's name.
Joe.
There you go.
Joe's on the couch behind me and he goes, yo, no, that's really real. It's like to the like I'm gonna butcher it, but he's like, no matter what you do, like you can't really feel better. And he's like, I actually have depression. And I was like, oh shit. I didn't say shit because I'm 11, but that was kind of as far as the conversation went, right? And so a couple years later, I have this dream, and I'm sitting on the floor in the same living room, and I'm watching. I promise this is correlated to Hereditary, and I'm sitting on the floor in this dream, and I'm watching TV, and this commercial comes on. It's an infomercial, and it's this guy who is selling this like essentially a set of little knives and cutlery, and it is used specifically to cut up people's bodies after you kill them.
What the
And
fuck, dude?
yeah, dude, and he's selling this set of like cutlery, and I hear Joey or Joe on the couch behind me let out this cry and this like kind of wail of like, we're getting deep here, but like this pain that I had never heard before.
This isn't a dream?
This isn't a dream. And so I have this dream, and we could go on for a long time about like whether that's me interpreting how he felt or that's me interpreting how I felt about things, but that's neither here nor there, right? Either way, I had this dream, and I very much interpreted this thing happened, and I heard this cry that was like nothing I had ever heard, but it's so human, right? And you fast forward like 10, 15 years, and I'm watching Hereditary, and there is a scene where Toni Collette goes out to her car and witnesses something awful, and she lets out this cry that sounds exactly like this cry that I heard in my dream years prior.
Bro,
And
so let me interject here. So once you hear that, that takes you back to that dream right away?
Immediately, dude.
Dude, first of all, I've known you since the second grade. You've never told me about this dream before. So
Never told anybody this dream.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you for being vulnerable and just putting this out there for everyone. Please continue.
Dude, so that scene happens, right? And that scene is really the beginning.
Oh yeah, this is like the
downward spiral.
30 minutes of the movie, if that.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen Hereditary, please go watch it, or maybe go watch it. It's a very upsetting film, but the first chunk of it very much sets up. It's not like a typical horror film setup, right? It starts off as just like this family drama, and shit goes south really fast. And then the way they respond to it is super, super human. And Toni Collette responds to the situation as one would, very bad, very poorly. And she lets out the sound, and I was watching it, and I was like, it like brought me into the film in a way that I've never been brought into a film before, where I was like, whoa, like I understand what's happening here. And I felt connected to her. And then it goes down a hill really sharply. And I don't want to spoil anything else, but like I've never been pulled into a film how I have in that one. And I fucking wish it wasn't that movie, because everything gets so bad from there. And I was so locked in. And I was wearing headphones when I watched it, like I do for most movies where I sit in front of my computer, wear headphones. And towards the end, there's a particularly horrific kind of set of circumstances that happened, and
that's a fucking very benign way of putting it,
dude. And I literally did this, and I like threw my headphones off because I'm sitting there watching it, and I threw my headphones.
Is
off.
It the?
Yes, dude. And I threw my headphones off, and then the character in the movie also did something that would be like akin to throwing your headphones off, where he's just like, you know what, like I'm done with this situation, and he exits the scenario, so to speak. At the same time I did.
His mind breaks in that moment.
He was like, I'm good on whatever is going on here. At the same time that I was, and
I was good on what was going on there like 30 minutes prior to that. Like, but it just keeps going, dude.
Dude, it just keeps going. Yeah, and I've just like never, so like it's hard to say that I enjoyed watching this movie. I haven't seen it since, but
Me
I
neither.
remember, dude, you see so many movies where like I've watched movies in the past week where like I remember 40% of them, but I remember like 90% of Hereditary, right? Like I can
Yeah.
think back through the film, and I can't say there's any movie that I've ever seen that has like hit me and impacted me in the way that Hereditary has, and so it's hard for me not to just say that that's like one of the best films I've ever seen, and definitely the best A24 movie I've ever seen.
Dude, totally understand that, and I had a feeling it would be on your list, and you know, by all rights, it should be on mine. It's just at number 6. Um, as an adult, nothing has scared me the way Hereditary has.
Absolutely.
When I was a child, it was Halloween. That was the movie that was the fuel for all of my nightmares, and never really had many nightmares about Hereditary. Thankfully, I don't have them as much as an adult, but used to have them a lot as a kid. I mean, Hereditary just fucks you up. It fucks you up, and you know, there are people out there who will say it's, you know, there's something that happens early on in the movie, and I feel like people have this reaction to it where it's so fucking visceral and awful that people, as like a fucking defense mechanism, they just choose to laugh at it instead.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of, there's a level of to it where you could be like, oh, this is, it's so
absurd.
it's so absurd that it's like, you know, and I can understand why people look at it that way. And but you know, to me, this is the scariest modern horror film, uh, just point blank period. And so much so that it's inspired a lot of imitators, people trying to kind of tap into what Hereditary tapped into. Like it redefined, I feel like it's redefined the horror genre a little bit, like not even being hyperbolic. Like it really did something, man. And you know, this is the movie that gave us Ari Aster, who's a filmmaker that, you know, you and I both really enjoy. Yeah, my first experience with this was hanging out in our buddy's house. It's number 6, Old Restless. Okay,
Close.
it's number 6. I'm explaining it. It's fucking scary, bro. I don't like watching
It's
this.
scary, yeah, dude.
I don't like getting fucking scared like that, dude. It's not even scary. It's disturbing.
Upset. It's very disturbing.
It's upsetting. Like it would fucking ruin my mood. I'm about to. So I'm watching it with Eric and Clyde. The two of them had already seen it before. Okay, so they knew what I was about to get into.
Evil.
And we smoked some fucking weed before the movie, which is an awful idea, by the way. I would not encourage anyone to do that.
Likewise.
Smoke some weed. Watch the first hour of Hereditary. I'm ready to go home. Take a break. Go outside and smoke more weed. Don't know why I did that. Finish the movie. And, you know, it just fucked me up, man. And then after that, I think me and Eric were like, let's go to the bar. And, you know, because I needed to put myself in a situation that was lively.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it was like being in a crowded bar with like people around, just kind of going about their lives. And I'm just like, do you guys not know that I just watched Hereditary? Like, it felt odd being in that situation. Like, I thought it was gonna make like help, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, just a fucking scary fucking movie, man. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I used to be able to. I can't really smoke weed much anymore these days. Just occasionally I'll take a Hillary puff of the Benjamin, but like that's about it.
I watched this at like 8 a.m. while I was drinking like a pot of coffee.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, I didn't get much done that day.
That's actually psychotic. Yeah, Hereditary is fucking crazy, man.
Shout out Ari Aster, man.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. Really, it's just a stressful experience,
dude. The last interesting thing to say that people might not know is that this script existed for like a couple years as not a horror film. It was just this family drama that was really dark and like really serious and just shitty. and nobody wanted to make it. And then Ari was like, "Well, what if there's like this spooky shit?" And then people were like, "Yo," they were like, "That sounds dope."
We can
And
sell a horror movie. We
yeah,
can't sell a movie that's just literal misery.
yeah. And he was like, "All right, well, like, there's a cult," and they were like, "Fucking make that, go film that shit." So, yeah,
Yeah, dude. Exactly. I
uh,
was gonna point this out. Yeah, not recommended. But yeah, so you were saying the script he reworked it into a horror movie,
yeah. And now we have Ari Aster, which I love.
which is dope.
So, yeah,
Um Spooky Nerd Club, what's going on? I don't
what
know
else
if I'm
we do?
bugging. I'm not sure if I've seen you in the chat before. So if this is your first time, welcome. Everybody say what's up. Thanks for being here. We're talking about our top 5 A24 movies. We're talking about our number ones right now. Old Restless saying what's up. Yeah, Tyler's number one is Hereditary. Yeah, if we're judging by like so my number one is a very impactful movie, but for a positive reason, and it's a movie that I actually enjoy watching. So
Nice.
I had to give it
That makes sense.
I had to give it to the more positive movie, and I also wanted to kind of switch it up because I did have a feeling this would be on your list. So actually, no overlap. I was
Oh, that's
expecting
cool.
I was expecting my number one to be on your list, by the way,
I'm
but it wasn't.
curious.
All right, so my number one A24 movie is 20th Century Women.
Dude, that's the 5 and 6 uncut gems in 20th century women.
Yeah, dude. This is such a fucking cool movie, man. It's like a slice of life thing. And I'll provide a bit of context for where I was at when I saw this movie. So at the time, I was living with my mom and my sister, and like shit wasn't really that great. You know, I was having to things were just tight financially. You know, I was working 2 jobs and stuff. I was going to school, and you know, I look back on that period of my life, and it wasn't as great as where I'm at now. Um, and I was talking to this girl, and I was at my work Christmas party, and she was there. And at the time, I thought, you know, I kind of liked this girl, and I didn't think that she liked me. Um, and so we're talking, and it's like after the Christmas party, I go home, and I'm talking to her, and she's like, "Oh, do you want to like go see a movie?" And it was so out of nowhere, and I was like, "Yeah, sure," but I'm like, I didn't even drive at this point. I didn't have a car. That's how shitty things were. So she was like, "I'll just come pick you up," and I was like, "What? Okay." And we caught like a late night showing of 20th Century Women, and so the situation surrounding it was like so cool. Like the something about going to see a movie amidst all the other bullshit I was dealing with at the time was, you know, enough to kind of make me forget about my troubles for a little bit. So, and then the movie itself is just about this single mom who's like raising an adolescent son, and you know, he likes this girl who doesn't really she likes him, but she doesn't, and she kind of like strings him along and just kind of takes him for granted. Are you there? I think Tyler's frozen. Um, I have internet. Let me text Tyler real quick. Oh, we're lagging. No, just saying. Am I? You guys in the chat, let me know if it's me or if it's just Tyler or if it's both of us. Yeah, it's just Tyler. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove Tyler, and then I'm just gonna have him rejoin. So once I see that he's backstage, I'll re-add him. Apologies for the technical difficulties, folks. Shit was just getting good too. Oh, thanks, man. I didn't know that you were. Did you watch the replay of that over on Davey Deathray's channel? We had a good conversation. I'll just go back and catch up real quick. Yeah, 20th Century Woman, really great movie. I didn't hear great things about this one. It's the one with Brandy that came out this past year. I heard, right? Yeah, I never saw this. Old Restless. I'm not sure like if this is the kind of thing you'd like. I don't know. I don't have the best sense of your tastes yet. But I feel like if you're open to this sort of thing, check out the synopsis or whatever. Maybe you'll dig it. Nice, dude. Glad you liked it. But you did forget that there's a lot of practical effects in the opening battle of T2. Yeah, we didn't mention that, did we? Yeah, I think I would still, I would probably still give the edge to T1. I don't know what the hell Tyler's doing. I don't know if I should just keep talking about the movie while I wait for him to come back or what. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, if you guys I guess I'll throw the floor open to you guys real quick while we're kind of at a standstill here. I want to hear everyone's favorite A24 movie. Actually, give me your favorite and your least favorite. Is what I would throw the floor open to you guys. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that you hadn't seen a ton. Ex Machina is sick though. That is a badass movie, and that's only one that I've seen once. I need to rewatch that. There's so many of these that I've only seen once that I want to rewatch, and I don't even know why I haven't, to be honest. I don't know. I'm texting Tyler. He's not responding. Favorite is Heretic. Least favorite, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I really liked Heretic. I liked Heretic. I thought it was cool. I kept expecting them to kind of do something in the third act that like would really like kind of blow my mind and like really knock my socks off, and it never quite did that for me. But I could be also that could just be a case of me having like being a victim of my own expectations. Yeah, Tyler's internet just took a big dump. Apparently, he's texting me now. That's a bummer. But But yeah, Bodies. It was okay. I didn't really love it. Yeah, Tyler had previously been having some internet issues as well. Yeah, he's tried to reset everything. It's not working. Okay. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Bodies. I remember seeing the trailer for that and just thinking like, oh, this is gonna suck. Yeah. And then eventually I did watch it and it was kind of fun. Not really my thing though. Like it's like poking fun at like the Gen Z kind of humor and stuff, which is like the generation after me. So like I understand all the jokes, but I don't find them particularly funny. Um, so yeah, it just wasn't really for me. It's not even really a horror movie either, which it kind of markets itself as, but it doesn't really do it well. Let me text Tyler real quick, guys. Sorry. Yeah, like I kind of expected. I expected a little bit. I just expected something different. I thought there was going to be some kind of hook, some kind of twist, and no, didn't really get that. Yeah, don't really blame you guys if you split. That's okay. Don't totally understand. I just told Tyler that if he has Wi-Fi, that he should be able to just join on his phone. So hopefully, he can do that because his internet is not working. But if he has just straight up like Wi-Fi or not Wi-Fi, just like data on his phone. Sorry. I'm not gonna. Oh, I guess anyone can see that. Yeah. Spoilers for Bodies. I guess. Yeah, I thought that was just dumb as fuck. And the thing is, I actually had that spoiled for me. Yeah, so we were just on our number ones. But I'll run through my top 5 again real quick. So my number 5 was The Lighthouse. Oh, yo, Tyler's back. You all right, dude?
Dude.
I'm getting some feedback.
Oh, how anticlimactic, man.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Yeah, I'm getting feedback.
Hold up. Still?
Yeah. Testing.
Still now?
Testing. A little bit. So my top 5 was The Lighthouse. Yeah, I'm still getting something. The Lighthouse, Moonlight, X, Past Lives, and 20th Century Women was my number 1. Yeah, so this movie is just it's just kind of like a snapshot in these people's lives, and it follows the young kid Jamie, and there's these 3 women in his life. It's his mom, it's this girl who kind of lives with them and like rents a room in their house, and then there's this girl that he likes, and so it's all just sort of these interactions that he has, and the way that these 3 women's sort of lives impact him, and all these things that he learns from each of them, and how it kind of helps him kind of find his own identity. And it's just a really, really great movie. Greta Gerwig is in this movie, as well as Elle Fanning and Annette Bening. They're the titular 20th Century Women. And the cool thing about it was, as I was talking about, when I went and saw this movie, like with this girl, like we just went and saw a movie. We had no kind of idea like what we were gonna go see, and she was like, "Oh, let's see this," and I was like, "Okay." Like she could have suggested anything, and I would have been down for it. And it wound up just being such a cool way to experience this movie because it was so organic. Like I had no. This was 2016, so I wasn't really like keeping up with movies at this time. So I had never seen a trailer or anything. I had no idea what this movie was. And then I just got to sit and experience this really awesome experience. So yeah, it was really cool. And yeah, it's funny at times. It's emotional, you know, it's good. It's a really great movie. So excuse me. That's my number one.
Okay, you're gonna have feedback, but can you hear me okay again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, I saw this movie in late 2020 or early 2021. I love this film. Um, my internet's back on too. Um,
That's good. If you want, you can try to join on there.
let's see. Let's see if it'll load up. That's so weird. I never have issues here anymore with Wi-Fi.
It's all good, man.
There we go. All right, hold up.
Stand by, folks. Bear with us. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Hey. Oh, wait a second. Oh, okay, there you are. You were frozen for a second again, and I was like, fuck.
I'm back.
All right, yeah, real quick, go ahead and give us your thoughts on 20th Century Women.
Okay, 20th Century Women. Great movie. I actually watched this at the end of 2020 or early 2021. It was when we had that. I was living in Austin. We had that crazy ice storm in Texas.
Ooh, yeah.
And everything effectively shut down over like 2 inches of snow because the state just wasn't ready for like weather like that.
Yeah, they don't have that infrastructure.
And so I was at a friend's house. Me and Ellie are at our friend's house. She has electric. I pick up burgers and beer, and we're sitting on her bed. It's like the three of us, two dogs, and then a MacBook. And I'm like drinking and eating burgers. And I watched this movie on the laptop screen, just like from the laptop. But my memory of it is so big, and the shots are like so beautiful. And like it's such a big film, regardless of the way that I watched it. And I loved it. They were like, because it was me and these two girls, and they were like, we should watch this. And I was like, all right. And
that's
and
kind of how I was.
yeah,
but I was like, yeah,
yeah,
let's do it. And you were like,
yeah. I was like, fine, whatever. And I think I liked it. I don't want to say I liked it more than them, but like I think now, like if you ask like my top 10 films, like this would be on there. And I don't know that they would like pick it out, but
Mhm.
I loved it, and it really surprised me. Everybody's great. Greta Gerwig's great. Elle Fanning's great. The kid is great. The mom is great. It is a great film. Yeah, I love that you had this on. This is my number 6. Yeah.
Yeah, despite the title, it's a movie for the boys. Like, because you experience everything through the young kid Jamie.
Yep.
And like it deals with his relationship with his mom, this relationship with this girl who's way old, like the Greta Gerwig character is like obviously too old for him. So like there's no kind of it's never like viewed as though she could be like a potential romantic partner for him. So like rather she's like a mentor in a way that his mom can't be. And so
his mom's kind of old too. Like
she's in her mid 50s, and he's like, I don't know, 14 or 15. Yeah, like really young, like still figuring it out. And then there's the Elle Fanning character who he likes, but I think she's a little older than him.
A little
like
bit.
Not to the point where, you know, obviously not Greta Gerwig older, but like very much so to the point where like it wouldn't be weird like if they got together, right? So
Yeah.
but she's like into older guys and kind of takes him for granted, and she's just like her little friend that she hangs out with every now and then, and maybe some of us can relate to that. So it's a very relatable movie,
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. And now being older, you look at the way he like interacts with his mom, and like you get mad at him kind of because you're like, you fucking dick, like that's your mom, bro. Like your mom,
Yeah.
your mom is awesome. Like, but he's like, fuck you, dude. You don't understand me. And like
Yeah.
the dad is not in the picture, which is a big part of it. Like
Mm-hmm.
for me, like I've had
Mm.
several stepdads over the years, like
Yep.
so like that lack of a father figure and him having to kind of figure it out, and like in a way it takes these three women to like kind of raise him
Raise him.
in a
Yeah.
way. And it's just really good, man. And I know you love Mike Mills' other movie, Come On.
Yeah.
Where does that rank for you?
Dude, I mean that's an honorable mention.
Do you want to pivot to our honorable mentions now?
Yeah, if you don't have anything, I fucked up the flow of your top one. My
Dude,
bad. But
don't worry about it,
yeah,
man. It's internet. People
yeah,
people still seem to be here. We got,
nice, nice,
it doesn't seem like many people left, if any. So like thanks guys
nice.
for hanging out. Technical difficulties happen. Um yeah, no, that's pretty much all I got on this movie. Like I just really can't recommend it enough. And shit, man, I might watch it after this. I don't know.
Dude, my only movies that we haven't. Okay, so honorable mentions that we haven't mentioned. Red Rocket.
Is that A24 too?
That's A24. Oh wait, it might. I feel like it is. It's definitely Sean Baker. It might not be
I'm
actually.
not saying it's not. That I
You could
because
be
I
right.
no, it very well
No, it
could be.
is. No, I'm pretty sure it is actually.
Regardless.
It's Sean. No, I'm pretty sure it is. It's Sean Baker's follow-up to Florida Project, starring Simon Rex and another group of like people who are not actors. One of which actually showed up in Anora, which is really cool. The girl, she's like the Spanish girl. She's the boss at the strip club in Anora, and she was just like this non-actor who's in Red Rocket. Great movie.
Nice.
The Brutalist. Dude, The Brutalist was so good.
I know. Like, I still haven't watched it, man. The runtime's been putting me off,
Oh,
but
I love that.
it's getting added to HBO.
Mm.
So I was gonna rent it for $10. Um, but I was like, fuck it, it's gonna come to streaming soon. So I'm like, let me just save the money real quick.
Yeah, Brutalist, very, very good. I love a long movie. Adrian Brody. Adrian?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Adrian Brody. One of the best performances I've ever seen in anything. Honestly, he might be too good in it, where him and his wife in it are very, very, very good, and they almost overpower the rest of like the cast. If I'm being
Damn.
honest, from my watching, great film though, shot beautifully as you would expect a movie about like architecture to be shot. Is great. And then Beau Was Afraid, also Ari Aster. Um, maybe the weirdest movie I've ever seen, which is saying a lot, even with this list. Like I Saw the TV Glow, Swiss Army Man, super weird. Beau Was Afraid, probably weirder. Still processing it.
Dude, I caught
It's a
like
good
a
movie.
9:30 showing of Beau's Afraid.
Nobody there.
I was nobody there. I was at that theater until like 1 in the morning.
That's fucking weird, dude. It's a lot, dude. It was a surprisingly long movie. I didn't realize it was long like that.
It's 3 hours.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's
No,
long.
I think it's straight up 3 hours, bro.
It's a long ass movie. I didn't know what I was signing up for.
It's 179 minutes.
That's 3 hours. It's that long? Oh my god.
Dude, yeah,
Yeah,
and I sit all the way in the back of the theater.
of course.
And some like I think the employees kept like poking their heads in to make sure
See
there
if
was
somebody
still
was
someone
there.
in there.
For sure.
Otherwise, they were gonna like they were trying to close up, I guess.
That's
And it,
trippy,
and
dude.
it kept fucking with me, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, am I seeing somebody? Am I not? And like the contents of the movie are really fucking weird as well.
Yeah, fuck that.
Um, was that any? Did you have any more honorable mentions?
No, I also over the weekend I watched Talk to Me, which I thought was fine.
Dude, I really enjoyed Talk to Me.
Um,
I thought it was very good.
yeah, I might be a little hard on it because I watched it like 9 hours after I watched The Brutalist. And The Brutalist
Mm,
is like an incredibly well shot film, and Talk to Me was like the way it was shot seemed kind of just like an afterthought. I do appreciate that it's like two brothers who like came up on YouTube. I love that, and
yeah.
I appreciate that. But it was hard to overlook that like they were just kind of pointing the camera at what was happening. I could be hard on it. They shot it better than I would have shot it, you know.
I enjoyed that they were able to provide a fresh take on the possession
Mm,
subgenre
yeah.
where it's like it's through the framework of like teens getting high and
Yep.
they
Yes.
abuse it too much
Yep.
and then they OD on the ghost and it fucks them
Yeah.
up. Like
Yeah.
I enjoyed that because narratively it was really refreshing and hadn't really seen anything like that so far.
Yeah. I think I got all of that out of it, but I don't like maybe I haven't seen enough to like realize how underutilized that kind of angle is.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
Perhaps.
I enjoyed it while I was watching, but afterwards I was like, all right,
That's
you know,
fine.
yeah,
No, it's my number 24 and it could be shuffled around to any spot really below that or
yeah,
above it really. Like
yeah.
it would comfortably sit between 20 and fucking 31. So there's a lot of wiggle
Right.
room in the middle here.
Yeah.
Um
How about for you? What else? What else you got?
real quick,
Mm.
my boy Undead of Night is here. What's up, bro? I think his top ones here are Pearl, Saint Maud, and Hereditary, and then he's saying his bottom ones are a movie called Dark Places, which I've never heard of, and Killing of a Sacred Deer, which is talk about not rewatchable movies, bro.
Is
Not a
that
fun time.
what's his name who did
That's Yorgos Lanthimos.
is that who did Black Coast Daughter?
No, that you're thinking of Osgood Perkins.
Fuck that movie, dude. I haven't seen it, and fuck that movie.
Black Hood's Daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's spooky as fuck.
I just saw your video on it, and I'm good on that.
Welcome. Thanks for being here. We're about to wrap up probably shortly. Old Restless did not know Simon Rex is an actor. He has an extensive filmography. Yeah.
Old Restless. I don't know. It's hard to recommend Red Rocket to people, but if you're interested in like, wow, like Simon Rex in a movie, please go watch Red Rocket. Simon Rex is that movie. So good. Very good.
All right. So I'll just go through my 6 through,
Please.
I don't know. I'll just run down them real quick. I'm not going to talk about these extensively. My number 6 is Hereditary. Number 7, Under the Silver Lake. Really good movie with Andrew Garfield.
Have not seen that still.
Recommend you check that out. Everything Everywhere All at Once is my number 8. Number 9 is Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig banger. Number 10 is Uncut Gems. Number 11, I Saw the TV Glow. Number 12 was Eighth Grade, the Bo Burnham film.
Yo, Eighth Grade.
Good movie. Number 13, mid 90s. Number 14, Black Coat's Daughter. Number 15, Good Time. Number 16, The Iron Claw. So I'll just stop there. I could go down. But there's like real quick, I'll just say as well, like Midsummer's great. The Green Knight is very cool. Civil War is dope. The Witch is dope. Ex Machina. Green Room is very good. Yeah, there's lots of good stuff here. So,
dude, they put out bangers, man.
They do, man. They do. Oh, and then my bottom 5.
Oh yes, please.
Bottom 5 is a movie called Lamb.
Did you watch that?
Yeah,
you didn't like it.
Did not like it.
All right.
Opus just came out this year with Ayo Edebiri. It's exactly what you think it is, and it surprised me zero. Like just nothing interesting about it. Death of a Unicorn again, like doesn't feel like an A24 movie at all. Has like It's doing like this eat the rich thing, which is like so fucking tired and like has nothing interesting to say about it. Spring Breakers, the James Franco with like Selena Gomez and Vanessa Hudgens.
That was their jumping off point too.
This was like the beginning of A24.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then The Bling Ring, which is a Sofia Coppola movie. Yeah, early A24 shit. I think they were trying to be like movies for fucking like teenagers at this point. Like they didn't really know, hadn't found their footing yet.
They wanted shit that was gonna like blow up on Facebook. That was literally the era.
Yeah. I would say TikTok would be the equivalent now. Yeah. But yeah. So like they've definitely missed before. But like honestly, man, I've seen 56 A24 films.
That's crazy.
And I would say the ones that I would actively dislike, there's like I like 44 of them. So really good track record.
Pretty good ratio.
Yeah. It like I was down with it, but like it really is one of those movies where like the thing that happens at the very end is what you're waiting for the whole time, and I would have liked a little bit more of that throughout the film as opposed to like the final shot. So
I gotta watch that. I remember like the trailer and being like interested in it.
The trailer looked great. Like I was super down, and it's just kind of like not very memorable at all. So yeah.
So Get Out, not an A24 film?
It is not, dude. It's Universal. It's not A24, dude. But that's the thing, right? Like there's movies that you look at and you're like, oh, that feels like an A24 movie.
It really does. Yeah. Was Nope A24?
No.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, nah. But that's gonna do it for us, guys. We're coming in right on 2 hours here, so
thanks for hanging out. Thanks for dealing with my internet problems.
It's all right, man. Shit happens. Yeah, usually I think anytime it's happened, it's been on my end. So
yeah, unlike our childhood.
Yeah, dude, for real. You could never play video games because your internet always fucking sucked.
Trash.
All right, guys. So thank you for coming out and hanging out with us and talking about A24 movies. Really appreciate all the engagement and you guys keeping the conversation going. So a lot of fun. And we'll see you guys in May for
horror show. Dude, it was the worst time. It was the worst time.
He said, just kidding. Old Restless knows how to joke around. That's what I like about him. Old Restless, you especially, man. You're always here for every show. We really appreciate it, man. You're the man. We're gonna probably do. We were gonna do folk horror films for April, but I wasn't able to watch all the folk horror movies. Tyler probably would have been able to do it because he watched 2 3-hour movies, 1 3.5 hour and 1 3 hour. So you probably could have done it.
I watched like 4 movies in the past like 5. Dude, I was like sick yesterday for Green Night, and I was like, whoa.
We'll have to talk about that off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, you effectively watched like 5 or 6 movies, so you definitely could have done all the folk horror movies. But we'll save that for May. I feel like that's more of a May thing anyway.
Yeah.
Like the Mayflower, like Wicker Man kind of thing. So look out for the folk horror show in May. We're going to talk about folk horror films. So it'll be similar to this where we're counting down. We're only going to do 5 movies though, so not 10, 5 apiece kind of deal. But thank you guys for being here. You guys rule. I'm going to roll the intro again and sign off. So take it easy, guys. Good night.